Well, here is our starting lineup. 15 athletes taking to the start line for this 15,000-meter elimination race. Top of your page there, Daniel Nero, Martin Fevy, France, already medalists in the 10K points competition. Here's Boonham, successful at the World Games with a bronze from 3 years ago in Birmingham. Theo Wenger, bottom of your list from Switzerland. Not at the bottom of the predictions though. Again, another successful athlete from previous World Games, so Winter Olympian. The referee making sure everyone is in their allocated position. And you might think if it's 15,000 meters, does that matter at the start? But positions are everything. And we'll soon see that when they set off. It is an endurance event, but there's a huge amount of explosive power required throughout this, as you'll see as it unfolds. Niels Boerman, testing the points race 3 years ago. That's a very different format. If you did join to watch the points race, well, forget everything you learned on that, and we will explain as we go to the men's elimination race for the 15,000 meters. We have 15 athletes. All of the long distance athletes who were entered at the World Games are competing. They're all in this starting lineup. They have 34 laps of this track to complete, and we have the first few laps where it's just find their groove. As you'll see, we might see some breakaway, but at the moment that is the sign that the elimination process has started, and after the bell, that next lap, the next time these athletes go through the finish, the last one across that finish line will be eliminated. We've already got breakaway action happening, and it is Bay from Korea, Jun. Just a little bit of a mini breakaway, but at this stage he's trying to find. The bell will be on 31. As we get going, I will just introduce my expert that I have alongside me, Andreas Radska. Thank you for joining me. Now, we're just seeing a little bit of tempo already being injected into this race, even though elimination doesn't start for a little while. What's going on in the mindset here and in the tactics?
I think the men, they are just taking it a little bit more serious, I would like to say. And the problem is that you have many different type of skaters. Some are sprinters or more sprint orientated for the long distance. Some of them have to go away, and everybody is trying if they get a gap. Because if they can do a breakaway, then there's a big chance to win the race. Because if there's a big gap, nobody would like to close, because he will lose the race. It's not possible for someone. If you have a teammate, he can close for you, he will be out, then it's good for you. But this is a big risk here. So everybody has to take care. So you see, it's a completely different race to the ladies' race.
Well, that is the all-important bell that we've just heard. And that means that this time, next on this lap, we will lose one of our 15 racers. Doesn't necessarily mean to need to look at the back just yet. That is Bae Jun-chul, but he looks comfortable there. He looks as though he's biding his time. And interestingly, we just got a little glimpse of Francesco Puella Cabello, who has already won a title at these World Games.
But you see, he secured himself with 2-3 steps, and amazing how he did it. So he has so many experience, so for him.
Number 42, New Zealand, eliminated. 42,
I say sadly, it's got to be someone. It's Chase Morpeth, the athlete from New Zealand. Trains in Germany and actually spent his winter training on ice. Slightly different climate out here, and that is his competition over after just a few laps.
Yeah, I think it's pretty hard for him. He's coming over from New Zealand, or because he is training in Germany, so he comes over from Germany. but this is, yeah, not the thing he would like to have.
Well, a lot of these athletes do sort of move to the real hotspots for training, Europe being one of them, with some professional teams racing there, and the European League that runs in the spring. And then we also see quite a lot of money coming into the sport from Asia. Yet we still have a huge dominance coming from Central and South America. And we will see that again, no doubt, with Colombia, Ecuador playing a big part in this race.
In Colombia, it's a national sport, and also in South America, it's very hot. And yeah, you see they are the best in the world, and yeah, they have many skaters there. So now we'll see what's going on next. We have still the Korean skater at the end, and also the Spanish skater, actually.
Yeah, Bae Junchul made it through. Maybe just one or two spare last time, but it doesn't matter, does it? As long as you're not the last person, it does not matter where you are in that group when you cross the line, because as soon as you're across, the group almost resets. That is until the pace starts to up continually, which we might see in this men's elimination race.
Oh, I think the German one, Nils Wiedemann.
It does look as though number 27 might have been.
Number 27, Germany, eliminated. 27, eliminated.
Now, success at the World Games in points race 3 years ago, won bronze.
Yes.
But so far, no medals for Nils Wiedemann. Disappointment for the German.
I think he's also focusing on the track, so he's better on the track, and we will see what's going on there.
Well, we will have the delight of seeing all these athletes again. It's a packed schedule for them, 4 days in a row of racing over these long distances. This is day 2 of the speed skating, day 7 of the World Games.
Yeah, normally you have 1 day rest at the World Games, the World Championships, and also the European Championships, so they can relax 1 day. But here it's impossible, and I think you can't race all four races with full power. So you have to focus on that, and it's much easier if you win a medal at the beginning, so you're more relaxed. And yeah.
You make it sound like winning a medal
Number
here is
50,
something of a choice,
first
but
warning.
these athletes are
Number
absolutely
50,
world class. I mean, it's wonderful to see
Korea,
this World Games.
first
It's basically
warning.
the absolute top of this sport, and the top athletes we're getting to witness with that.
Yes, we are really happy to see the best in the world here, and for them it's also an honor to skate here, because they never saw something like this, like the World Games before. So this is like Olympic for them, and it's amazing that China made something like that for them. It's not Olympic, we have to say it in this way, but it feels like Olympic.
Well, when it is the epitome of your sport, the absolute pinnacle, it is the equivalent, isn't it? And the World Games plays a massive part in the speed skaters' careers, and it's great to see this incredible field that have been qualified through to this competition.
Very close, very close. Ooh.
Well, there was a little bit of pushing going on there, and lots of oohs from the crowd, as we will wait to see what the judges decide on that one.
I think the Indian skater was in the end, but I'm not 100%.
We'll wait to see exactly who was the victim. And it seems as though the athletes themselves aren't sure. No one is going to risk making that mistake and saying it was me, because you don't know.
46, China, eliminated. 46, China,
Coming
eliminated.
from the crowd, Pan Ji-Yuan, silver medal at Junior World Championships, but a very strong sprinter. That was over the 100 meters. Just tactically got that one wrong today. But still an amazing experience to have competed at a home World Games, and as a young athlete he will no doubt take that forward, and in 4 years' time will be back stronger.
Looks like they are doing similar to the ladies' races, so they also save energy, and nobody would like to do a breakaway or something like that, but you can't be sure here, because there are some of the guys are super strong, and they can do the breakaway and can be successful in the breakaway, so we will see what's going on.
It's still relatively early stages. We have 22 laps of this 500-meter circuit to go. It's a purpose-built circuit here at the Chengdu Roller Sports Centre, a wonderful facility for these World Games. Asphalt on this track. Sometimes these competitions can be put on an actual outdoor road where the circuit is just built around the road surface. You've got to deal with what's there, but this has been made especially for these games, and I'm sure competitions will be returning to Chengdu as a result.
Yeah, of course, this is the best road course I ever saw in this sport, and it's amazing. It's also amazing for the skaters.
Here we have
Number 18, Ecuador.
48 I saw. Portugal.
It could be.
Number 48,
And
Portugal.
correct. We are just hearing this from the tannoy, whether you hear that or not. It is Miguel from Seca Bravo. The camera picking that up. The Portuguese athlete is our next to say goodbye. Down to 11. So laps start to whistle down. 20 laps to go. That was 34 in total to make it to this 15,000 meters. And if you are joining midway through the race, well, we started with 15 athletes, and we have eliminations on every third lap. It's when the bell is rung until we get down to the final 3, and then it is an absolute, I say flat-out race, a tactical race. It will be flat-out for the last few hundred meters to the finish to decide who gets crowned the World Games champion of this men's elimination race.
Also in this race, you see the Colombian skater in front, like the ladies race, so they control, and every other skaters are following him, because yeah, he has this kind of mindset, this kind of strengness, and everybody is happy that he's in front. And you see the Italian skater, then Nero behind, and then French skater, then Livio Wenger. Livio Wenger is also a very, very good skater, and we will see what's going on. So I'm really, really curious about the final.
Well, just coming to the front there, it's Zhao Zhujiang. Just taking his moments in the sort of safe zone, away from all the action behind. And that's only a moment of a breath before we see the action start again. Another elimination just around the corner, quite literally, as they make their way down the back straight. And then it's coming out of this corner that the positions are really jostled for. As it gets smaller, there's a bit more space at the finish line, I imagine, for the field. We've seen a few almost get blocked out when it comes to this finishing straight.
See again the Korean skater at the end, same tactics, but now he didn't make it. So he stopped, he saw that the gap is too big and no chance.
Number 50, Korea, eliminated.
And he certainly realised that, didn't he? Quite early on, Bei Junchul. We'd seen him, you know, using that tactic to his advantage, and then just got left on the, as the speed just picked up a little bit. Couldn't stick with it and didn't have that burst of speed that's needed as the acceleration coming out of that bottom corner.
Yes, and it's very interesting. You see Indian skaters. So India was 3, 4, 5 years ago nobody was talking about, but they are super, super strong. They have so many skaters. We saw them in Geisingen, and it's amazing the development of this nation. So I think in the next years they will play a role.
Well, it's always wonderful when a sport sees another nation developing into it. So it can only be a healthy thing for a sport that's growing and sort of wanting to get Olympic recognition.
Yeah, I heard about it. They have 100,000 inline speed skaters in India, so this is a huge amount, and you can estimate there are 3, 4, 5 which are super, super strong. And we will see what's going on in the next years.
Well, let's hope that they, with that many athletes competing, they're starting to put some funding in, and as we know with all sports, once the funding starts to come in, you can really help to find the talent and then develop that talent further, and that's what we see in the countries such as Colombia. Speaking of which, it is Juan Mantilla Panilla just moving it to the front again.
Just saw the movement of the Italian guy. He would like to go on the second place. It was impossible. They didn't let him in, so there was a little fight, and so he went to the first position. This is something, sometimes, yeah, there's no chance to go inside. They try to, but impossible. Everybody would to save his space.
You can hear some shouting from the coaches on the outside there, just almost offering encouragement, I imagine. There's not much in the way of tactics you can tell your athletes at this point in the race. Now, we just saw Livio Wenger looking across there, but he almost looked as though he relaxed, but then looked across.
Yeah, it looks
Did he
like
know something? Do you think he was in?
he had the wrong position. There was no gap. Yeah.
Well, he did look across, but I think he was just checking, and he has had that confirmed. 56 on his helmet, that is Livio Wenger. One of the few who's actually already an Olympian, competed at the Winter Olympics back in 2018.
He's currently preparing for the next Winter Olympics, so he's just going on the ice after the World Games, and it's only a little break for him from the ice, and you know it's the session before, so 6 months until they go on, and yeah, most of the good inline skaters, which are also on the ice, are currently on the ice.
Well, it's a privilege for the World Games that they've had the presence of Switzerland, and we will no doubt be seeing Livio Wenger on the track if you join us in the next couple of days. But now we are concentrating on the 9 athletes remaining in this competition. Now we're just getting a close-up of Chao Shucheng from Chinese Taipei. He's got tape down the front of his shins. Is that aerodynamic, or is that something that's helping him with some injury?
Yeah, I think this is something which he's getting from his physio, and yeah, some of the skaters you see it, and they have some problems with the muscles in this position, and it helps a little bit. I also used it before, but it's also something for the mental.
Well, this is very much a mental game, isn't it? So much. It looks so physical. You think 34 laps of this track, gosh, that's got to be all about the physicality. But we are seeing on every lap, not just the elimination laps, that it's so much more than that.
Yeah, at the moment you see the Spanish skater passed by from the last position to the first position. So in this round, he don't want to be involved in the elimination.
Yeah,
yesterday he wins, so I think he's a really strong guy. And so at the moment, he chose the way not to be eliminated, or not to be in the position to can be eliminated.
Playing it safe as we are sort of at the midway stage through this competition. And it was Hugo Ramirez, the victim of that elimination. The athlete from Chile, and I think they weren't quite sure who it was amongst the pack on that occasion, as the leader's just letting up.
I'm really impressed from Mr. Val Kumar from India. He's still in the pack and is doing a really, really good job. And we will see what's going on with him. So
we're down from 15 to 8 athletes remaining. And the pace is still on the relaxing side of things.
yes. At the moment, yes. So I think everybody's preparing for the final. So nobody would like to waste any energy, and that's the result of it.
It feels like we're just waiting for this action to start. Martin Ferry leading, say the charge, but the charge is yet to be released as they make it their way around before we hear the bell. So a lap and a half until the next elimination.
Oh, now they are starting before the bell.
We are going before the bell. The
Yeah.
pace has suddenly been increased.
10 laps to go.
And it's Chao Shucheng
本圈淘汰一
who
人，
just took the control for a moment.
领先运动员还有10圈。
You just don't know if that's because they want to get things moving generally, or they want to be in a better position. Can they hold it? We currently see India's Valkumar just off the back of the moment. He's doing enough to get back in the mix in time.
Number 4,
Before the finish line fast encroaches, it looks as though he might have left it too late. Well, it was incredibly close between Marina from Paraguay.
Number 43 from Paraguay, eliminated.
Still made it. Wow.
Eliminated.
Amazing.
From the angle of the camera, it had looked as though it might have been India's Valkumar, but he stays to see another day. And Julio Cesar Molina, it's the silver medal in the 10K points race. Won't be adding to that one in the 15,000 meters. He Went for an interesting tactic yesterday in that breakaway. We're not seeing anything like that today. Very much a more sort of sedate affair until we come to each elimination.
But when you see to the face of the skaters, they are still lost much energy and they are empty, and I think it's super hard because of the temperatures. That's also maybe an excuse that they are really slow, but it doesn't matter to put all the energy out and then 7 rounds before the end you're dead.
Well, nobody is going to be looking at the time when it comes to the end of this competition. They're going to be looking at who is on the top of that podium, aren't they?
Yes, only medals counts, that's it.
It's very much a matter of that, and there are only 3 medals. There's still 7 athletes left in this competition. We have 4 more to be eliminated.
7 laps to go. Now the bell again. You still see the Chinese Taipei skater in the front.
Yeah, Charles just wanting to...
Super good, really good.
Putting himself in a position that he feels is safest at this late stage of the competition. And this time again we see Anand Kumar Valkumar off the back. And he realised, I think, on that occasion, just crept in last time, but it is a goodbye to Anand Kumar Valkumar from India. He definitely played a significant part in that race, staying into just the final 5 laps.
Now we see the breakaway. I think this can be the breakaway.
Oh, well spotted off screen, but we do have some action coming on at the front now, and this is before elimination. But remember, we still have 3 more to be eliminated, but if they can secure a gap, we could almost have that as being irrelevant.
Yeah. Now it's really hard for the French skater because he tried to close the gap. He must put so much energy inside to go there, and I don't think that he has a chance later on. You see he's slowing down, he's not closing the gap. The Italian skaters following Daniel Nero. Now they're coming close again back, but I think this was, they lost much energy on this.
Well, it doesn't really matter that this front group of who is in which position right now, because I think we've already got a clear elimination coming up from Chao Chu Cheng, who's just lost the pace. And interestingly, that group got back together again, so led by Juan Mantilla Pania, didn't manage to keep the breakaway there, so they are back to a group of 5.
Very strong part from the French skater to bring them back. And I think Daniel Nero, yeah, he has no good chances because he didn't need so much energy for it. We will see what's going on.
So do you think that Martin Ferrier France might have burnt a match or 2 in that effort to get back in the group?
We will see it soon. 3 rounds to go. 3 laps.
Number 10, Chinese Taipei, eliminated. Number 10, Chinese Taipei, eliminated.
Well, you wouldn't think it's only 3 laps to go. We just saw a burst of excitement coming from the leading 3. It's now leading 5 as we have said goodbye to Chao Chu Cheng. And Ecuador and Colombia working together here, but here comes the man that's been pretty quiet throughout this competition so far, Francisco Puella Cabello, but we saw an incredible breakaway from him in the points race.
I think he's out. Made a mistake. Oh, let's see.
Number 53,
Yes,
Spain,
oh my gosh.
eliminated. Number
He stopped
53,
skating too early. Oh
Spain,
my gosh.
eliminated.
Well, that shows that. I think there's some frustration, almost questioning that. You'd think with the experience that he would know how to do
53,
that exactly.
eliminated. 53,
Definitely
eliminated.
not happy with the judge's decision, but Francisco Puella Cabello, who was one of the favourites coming into this, is out, and we have just 4 athletes remaining. And this final lap, and it
number
looks as though
37 eliminated. Number
we are
37 Italy
almost
eliminated.
decided on the men's just position for gold and silver. The race right now is on between Mantilla Pia from Colombia and Garcia Pazmino from Ecuador.
I think the Colombian will do it. Yeah.
But look at this, Colombia absolutely ruling in this men's elimination race and celebrating several meters before the line. What a performance for Juan Jacobo Mantilla Pania as he is crowned champion at this men's elimination race, the 15,000 meter competition at the World Games. Well, that was a tough competition for Martin Ferri as he crosses the line. But what a bold move it was from the Frenchman to secure a medal.
Yeah, I'm really impressed that he made this medal after he came back and he closed the gap to the breakaway. This was super hard, but if you look into his face, I think no more laps possible for him. I think he has to relax now, go to an ice bath or whatever. It was a super good race from him.
Well, what a performance. I mean, this man is the world champion in the 15K elimination race from last year. And he never put himself in danger, did he? We never really sort of thought, oh gosh, that was close. Never once for Juan Mantilla Pania.
Yeah, when you're just focusing on the tactics, they did a really good thing. So the first three, they know how to be in the field. They never were in a position where they get in troubles. Really good. So the only surprise is the Pachi, the Spanish skater. So he went out. I didn't know why he stopped before the line. Normally you have to skate very fast, but I think she was sure that everything is okay, and then it was come closer, and then he went out.
Well, the celebrations will be big back home in Colombia, no doubt. And they're going to have to be minimal here. Although thanks to the heat, but the fact that
muy contento,
we still have
cansado, mucho calor, mucha humedad, pero el oro para Colombia otra vez, gracias a Dios, a mi familia, a mí y a todas las personas que apoyan. Esto es para ustedes. Gracias.
Paisano, gracias, paisano.
a lovely message from Jacobo Pania back to his family and friends at home, who, with the time difference, will most likely still be their evenings sitting up late to watch the competition unfold and see another medal get awarded to the absolute domination of Colombia here at the World Games and the Chengdu Roller Park.
This is something which is super special for the athletes. They can go around, they can just wave the flag, and this is, yeah, once in a life, this is something very special, and it's great.
It really is. Well, there's the conclusion of the medalists. We've seen a lot of Jacobo Pania, Nicolas Alexander Garcia Pazmino worked well with his Colombian counterparts and secured the silver quite comfortably in the end. But Martin Ferri, well, he left absolutely everything out there to win that bronze medal. He made that huge effort along with Daniel Nero to get back to the breakaway, and as a result it was Francisco Puella who lost out, as you were saying earlier. Just, he will be absolutely frustrated with himself when he looks back on that competition. But what a bold move by the Frenchman to win the bronze.
Of course, yeah. And I think all the athletes are happy now that they get air conditioning now on the track races, so indoor, and they don't relate it to this heat anymore. But the humidity is still high there. I was in the hall before, and yeah, it's not easy, but it's better than outside here to race.
Well, we are sat outside just next to the athletes. We're not even moving, and just to give you a little idea, you know, we are sweating sitting here, and these guys have done 34 laps of this circuit. Just going to have a little recap of how the race unfolded.
It was the first breakaway attempt.
That was a bold move, wasn't it, in these conditions for any of the athletes? And we didn't really see much in the way of any successful breakaway. I guess the most significant move was coming at the end by Jacobo Pania along with Nicolas Pazmino, because that was where we then saw the medals come from. But all the other attempts before then were were basically absorbed again, weren't they?
If you could look on the times, 23 minutes in this heat, this is really, really tough. Yeah, this is super, super hard for the athletes. Okay, it was not every time full speed, but 23 minutes or 27 of the ladies, this is horrible at this temperature.
That was a strong performance from Belkuma when he said goodbye at the midway point. Clung on till the top 7. And this was where we saw the significant breakaway, and you could just see the Frenchman there absolutely exhausted, Martin Ferry, but he still had enough ahead of Italy's Daniel Niero and managed to cruise around and make it to the finish line to pick up the bronze medal. But what dominance from Central America, Colombia and Ecuador. And it isn't just the conditions. I mean, they are dominant at World Championship level. We can't be saying, oh, it's because it's hot. And they are obviously used to the heat, but this is still an absolutely tremendous performance. And heat or not, I think we would have seen a very similar race.
Yes, of course. They are the best in the world. We know this, and they train in perfect conditions. And yeah, it's amazing how they prepare for this kind of competitions. This is not possible for many, many countries. And Colombia, this is the sport #1.